Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my talk. Excited to be here. Today, I will be speaking about something that is very trending these days. And today, we will talk about a real question which everyone is asking when we talk about AI, when we talk about cloud, when we talk about security. Everyone is asking, like, can we trust AI in cloud? To do all of our security operations, ranging from finding vulnerabilities, fixing them, detecting them, anything, whatever it touches, right? So today we will be talking about why we need AI, where we don't need AI, where we need to rethink our decisions, and what is something that we need to do with AI, and how should we set up that boundary so that we can start trusting AI. Probably those folks in the corner would be happy if we start using AI in our workloads, right? So without wasting time, let's get into it. Uh, my name is Advait Patel. I am senior site reliability engineer at Broadcom, where I handle anything related to the product that I'm working on. It's a observability tool. I touch anything related to security, cloud deployment, like working on the security posture, implementing security based practices, implementing zero trust policies, and you name it. Anything related to DevSecOps is what I have been working on. Apart from that, I am also part of the IEEE leadership team. I am the conference chair for the IEEE Chicago section, also the large section support chair for the entire Midwest zone. If you are familiar with the IEEE Region 4, that's what I have been. That's what I have been doing with IEEE. Also, I am published author. I have published several books. All are related to cloud security, implementing IAM, and implementing best practices, ranging from publications such as Wiley to Springer, Nature, Press, and etc. Also, along with few other big names, probably you might have heard about Ken Huang and Diana Kelly. Along with those, I am also the one of the founding members for the OWAP's Gen AI vulnerability scoring system project, where we are prioritizing the vulnerabilities these days that we are seeing in the AI security posture. Also, I am the creator of the DockSec tool, which we'll talk about in this presentation, which is also backed by the OWAPS open source tool. I have spoken at number of security conferences. Recently, last week I was at Science CloudSec Next at Denver. Also spoke at Blue Team Con. Next month I will be speaking at OWAPS Global AppSec in Washington DC, and you will find me speaking about, or probably defending AI to do our security operations and stuff in this number of conferences. I have been also writing scholarly articles on these platforms, for ISACA, ISSA, CSA, HackerNow, and the News Tech, uh, writing everything about this implementing best practices, how we can use AI, why we should use AI to do what and what not, and how we can implement these best practices, ranging from zero trust security to following the best practices and etc. So let's go to the main topic. We have been hearing a lot about AI these days, probably since the chat GPT era, and now people are started implementing AI into every field of software engineering. And today we will talk about how we can, or what we are seeing and what not in AI security. So we have seen a lot of things doing AI doing these things, right? Where AI is scanning billions and billions of log files. It is detecting the vulnerability. It is giving us the remediation on how we can fix that vulnerability, what we can do to fix that. So let's start with intelligent scanning, right? We have AI-powered tools which are detecting the vulnerabilities, which are analyzing the different cloud configurations, and then it is identifying the security gaps faster than what the traditional tools used to do, right? These days, AI tools security tools based on AI are giving us automated remediation tools based on the playbooks, based on the GPT models and all. They are giving us the GPT-driven recommendations on the tools. So these days, developer, they don't have to wait for the security team to come and generate the ticket, triage it, and then tell them what to do and where to do. But developers are now relying on these tools. Also, AI tools are giving us the predictive analysis where they are based on the past experiences, based on the past failures and patterns and cases. It is learning by itself and giving us the pattern about whether before the tool or whether the before the anything happens in production, they are like giving us the threat intelligent, and we can take actions so that we can save our production environment and all. So one thing is clear, that traditional tools won't work with the pace that AI tools are like with the AI tools are working, and the scale of the scale which we are using our production environment, those traditional tools won't work. So one thing is sure, that these AI security tools are here to stay, and we must start using them in our production environment. But before that, we also need to think about uh, getting ourselves ready and start thinking about how we can use them and what sort of boundaries that we can set before we use these tools in production. So here is the critical question: why or how or can we really trust AI to secure our cloud environments? Because just imagine using AI tools in our production environment, and it starts making decisions. It starts taking decisions on behalf of you. And imagine that there is a vulnerability which is false positive, but AI detects it and calls it and flags it as vulnerability, right? Then you have another sort of problems. The vice versa, where there is a where AI hallucinates the fix, right? Where there is nothing, there is no such thing as fix, but AI tells you to do something and you do it in your production environment. The whole new set of can of worms will be open, and then you have tons of issues that you need to deal with in your production environment. So AI gives us the AI gives us the scale, it gives us the pace that we need, but it doesn't give us the authenticity. It doesn't give us the, okay, this is something that you need to do and it will be 100% accurate. So AI cannot guarantee that. It doesn't give us that freedom. So when we talk about trust paradox, let's see why organization need to trust AI for what sort of operations. Starting from AI processes massive amount of data, like you can have all your production environment logs, manifest files, YAML files, and etc. And AI will detect, AI will scan it for you. So that's where you can or organizations can trust AI. Also, AI operates 24/7, unlike humans, right? We need 8 hours of sleep in most cases, depending on the day. Whereas AI can work 24/7 without any interruptions. Also, AI learns from past experiences, from past failures, from different data sets. You just need to train the model. Doesn't matter it is a one data set or thousands. It trains by itself. Also, AI tools are reducing the mean time to detect and mean time to fail, mean time to remediate. Just like, not like unlike other traditional tools that we can see in our posture. Also, AI scales automatically across thousands of environments. Doesn't matter if you are using AWS, Azure, or GCP. For AI, the environment doesn't matter. So it scales across distributed systems, and it gives you consistent analysis. Doesn't matter which tool you are using, doesn't matter which technology you are using. For AI, it's technology, and it will perform an analysis for you. So these are the things on which or why organizations need to use AI or trust AI. But on the flip side, let's also talk about why we should not trust AI, or where we should intervene. Things like training data. We know that model biasness is an another research that is going on, and people have wrote tons of research paper on how to stop AI biasness, how to stop this models turning into bias into one way or another way. So that is where we need to intervene. Also, AI doesn't have context all the time, as we all know. So where we need to provide context, where something needs context, that's where we need to intervene. Also, AI hallucination is a thing, it's a real thing. So where AI hallucinates the fix, that's where we cannot trust AI. Whatever AI does, wherever AI does, doesn't matter how scalable it is, doesn't matter how accurate, how efficient it is, but still, AI is still a black box. We cannot 100% say that, okay, we understand the AI behavior and we know how my AI model is working. And at the end of the day, there will be edge cases. There will be those scenarios, those cases where your playbooks cannot work, where you cannot define that, okay, if this happens, if XYZ happens, then I will need to, or my AI will do this. So there will always be some edge cases where you need human intervention. And also AI doesn't take accountability, so that mechanism is not there. So this says that AI is not here to replace, but it is here to assist. So it is here to assist our judgment. That's where we should trust AI, and that's where we should not trust AI. So moving from theory to practical, let's talk about something that I built, DockSec. It's an open source tool which is using AI remediation, which is using AI security tool. It's an open source tool which is scanning the Docker files, Docker container environments, and then it detects the vulnerabilities before it goes into production, right? So that's what DockSec does basically. So let's see what it does actually and how it does. So basically DockSec is Dockerfile security analyzer tool. It detects your vulnerabilities, detects the misconfiguration. It asks you to implement best practices. It also detects whether if you are not following anything such as like you should not use root in your Docker containers and etc. Right? So it detects that, and it uses machine learning algorithms to understand the context and provides the actionable remediation steps. So that's what it does. And what it promises is, it promises to automate the security checks before your container, before the commits from the developer goes into production. At the time of committing, it scans and it detects the problem and tells you, okay, this is something that you should not do, and it flags the vulnerabilities, saying that, okay, these are these are higher severity item, critical, low, medium, and etc. Right? So before your code goes into production, it flags you right there, and then it gives you remediation plan. So now, as we discussed, that developer team, they don't need to rely on security team to create the defects and scan the tool and give them the next step, right? But it does it automatically. So this is the promise. This is the promise that DockSec tool does, just like any other AI-based tools, right? But what happens in reality? In reality, DockSec, just like other tools, it makes mistakes. Sometimes those mistakes are minor. Sometimes those mistakes are major, and those mistakes can make your production environment vulnerable. And we will see how or what it did, and what sort of things that AI tools is doing these days. So DockSec in reality created a false sense of security. And when we talk about the case study, when we see when AI gets it wrong and how and what sort of things that it does, right? So in real life, a production team used DockSec to scan their production Docker files. So those Docker files were perfectly fine. They were following the best practices and everything, but still DockSec scanned it and it flagged that Docker file, and it recommended the another Docker based version which was less secure, which had more vulnerabilities, and DockSec still recommended it, right? So in that scenario, just like what we do, if that developer team would have replaced that image with the faulty one which DockSec recommended, then it would have gone into the production environment and it would have messed up, right? And then now companies would have paid millions of dollars to track the vulnerability, to fix it, and then spend a number of hours to find and fix the root cause. So the impact is, following the AI recommendations which were flagged by the DockSec tool based on the GPT models and machine learning models, still it made the mistake. Still it hallucinated the fix, and it still presented the Docker image which is not even which doesn't even exist in real time, right? And that could have been a bigger issue for the development team. So that's where we can see that this is also the case where AI gets it wrong, and AI can make mistake as well. So to break it down, let's talk about how it got failed. Starting with, there are multiple scenarios, starting with context blindness. DockSec doesn't have or did not have the context why the developer team is using that particular image, and in which case they are using that particular image, right? It just saw that, okay, this is the image, and it scanned it, and then it recommended a new image. So it did not have the context, and that's why the context blindness happened, and one of the cause of the failure. Because DockSec doesn't know about any security policy, it doesn't know about what sort of internal security policies this team is following or the company is following. And second failure was the hallucination alternatives, right? It hallucinated a fix, and it gave us something which does not even exist in the real time. Based on the scenario, based on the past patterns, based on the different failure cases, it created a base image just to fix the issue without even noticing whether the issue was actually there or not. So that was the hallucinated alternative. The third thing was overconfident scoring, right? The tool assigned 95% of confidence, right? And still it got it wrong. So this means that this clearly tells us that AI confidence doesn't mean AI correctness. We still need human intervention. We still need the human review in between the process. So let's also talk about how this gets exploited, right? Let's wear the attacker's shoes, and let's think how attackers think in this to exploit these vulnerabilities, right? So just imagine the scenario where attackers learn the pattern, where attackers learn the way these AI tools work, right? In that case, we can see two common attack patterns. First is false negative, where attackers are intentionally passing the false negative into the production system, into the production CI/CD pipeline, knowingly that this will definitely compromise, or this will definitely inject the pipeline, right? In that case, that payload, that input looks valid, but still it is compromised. What will happen in that case? The AI security tool will think, okay, this is good, and this is checking all the tick marks, this is checking all the check boxes, then it will clear it, right? And it will the payload will go into the next next release life cycle, next CI/CD pipeline. In that case, still that payload is faulty, compromised, then it will pass all these steps because of the attack pattern, right? That's how those false negative works, and that's how attackers are learning this technique to make the system compromised. The second pattern we can say is the poison recommendation. So in this pattern, attackers are making the machine learning model compromise by injecting the faulty data, by manipulating the machine learning model. So what happens in this case is this turns the security tools into the attack vector itself, right? Just imagine when you ask your AI security tool, okay, what is wrong with my environment? And because of the compromised model, it tells you to use this dependency which is already faulty, which is already outdated, and then you use it in your production environment. You use those recommendations based on the tools which are already compromised, and that hijacks your entire production system, right? So that is the other attack pattern that we have been seeing in the industry these days, where attackers are poisoning the recommendations directly into the machine learning models. So these things we can see that AI is giving us the fast and pace alternatives, but doesn't give us the accuracy. This is the another correct criteria. So now we think that, okay, what will happen if one of the life cycle is compromised, right? But those AI errors doesn't get affected into just one pipeline or one software development life cycle, but if it happens into one cycle, then it will mess up the entire production pipeline. And let's talk about the DevSecOps pipelines that usually the teams follow depending on their requirements and usage, right? So let's start with development. This is the first step, and if developer ignores the alert, if developer ignores the input, it goes into the commit goes into the environment, and then it goes into the build stage. So in the first step, developer ignores the alert, doesn't they don't check whether these are false positive, they don't check whether this is actually valid, whether it is actually correct or not, right? And it goes to the next life cycle, which is the build step, where according to the development, the security tool will mark it green, mark it check, and it will allow it to proceed further, right? Because it already sees that, okay, this is the correct flag and this is the correct tool, correct input, and I don't have any issue with that. So now it goes to testing, and just because the development and build cycle passes it, the testing will ignore it. It will skip it, thinking that, okay, this is the expected input and I should not flag it. Then it goes to deployment. Now your production system hits this faulty and corrupted input, and it goes into your production environment. And then your monitoring also skips it, because all the previous life cycle stages skipped it, right? So not only one phase will get compromised, but the entire process will be compromised, and starting from development to monitoring, every stage will skip it, and it will send it to the next stage. And then this is the blind spot that we usually see in the DevSecOps pipelines. So we cannot ignore it at one stage, but we need the AI integration, we need some sort of AI plus human intervention in each and every stage of the development life cycle, so that if we flag it, if we see anything goes wrong, then we can stop going into the next environment, next stage itself. So okay, so we talked about what AI can do, the bad stuff and etc. But AI is good. There are tons of benefits of using AI, but just like any other tools and other technologies, AI has its right place and wrong place. So when to trust AI, right? When we can trust AI, and what sort of things that we can do. So where there is a pattern, recognition at scale, where there is a fixed set of instructions, where there is a fixed set of rules that we need to scale, or we need to monitor, then we can use AI. Like let's say there are set of CVs that we need to scan our code and our tools, right? Then we can use AI. If there are high volume of things that we need to triage, right, such as your security logs or alerts or other things that are in high volume, that's where we can trust AI to do things for us. Also, where there are things that we need to check, such as policy violations or security policies, right? That's where AI can help, and AI can consistently check those policies, manuals, and requirements, and can help us with flags, and if it finds anything that should not be there. So those are the things that we can trust AI for. And when to intervene, when to say, okay, our humans or our development team will take care of it. So things such as provisioning the infrastructure, right? Things such as taking any decision in production environment. you cannot trust AI with provisioning your critical infrastructure decision. Where there is an decision-making process, where there is something that you need to make a business decision, then there should not be usage of AI. There should definitely be human, should be review the decision and should take decision accordingly based on whatever it makes sense. That should not be the AI operation. The second thing is where we need the context. That second thing is where we need to make any decision based on the prior context. As we see that AI doesn't have context, right? So that's where we need the humans. That's where we need the developers to make a decision for the business. The third thing is whatever is unique, whatever is custom, whatever is something that you or your team developed or built, right? That's where AI cannot help you, because it doesn't know what your tool does, what your function or feature does, and that's where you need the expert. That's where you need the team who actually built it rather than relying on AI. So there are edge cases. That's where we will need the human intervention. And also where there is a high confidence from AI, definitely something is misbehaving, right? So when AI gives you 95 or maybe let's say 90% of AI high confidence, that's where you need the human review to check whether that is something false positive or that is something whether actually worth looking at or not. So probably those are overconfident red flags which AI is ignoring. So that's where we need to intervene, and that's where we need to see what is happening with our AI. So okay, so we should trust AI. We should fix that boundary between ourselves and the AI, and that first step is to implement the guardrails, right? We need to implement the guardrails so that we can ask AI to do X, Y, and Z, but also ask AI to not do X, Y, and Z. And starting with input validation, we need to make sure that whatever goes into the AI model, whatever goes in as an input, there should be a step to validate the input rather than just blindly relying on the input and blindly AI do its job, right? So we need to focus, or we need to introduce those tools which can validate those input for us and does the sanity check on the recommendations before they reach the decision point. The second thing is we need to identify the threshold. We need to identify the threshold value for the AI confidence. Let's say if the AI confidence is too low, let's say below 80% of it is too high, let's say about 95%, then definitely something is going wrong. That's where we need to build the guardrail to make sure that why it is not behaving like it should, and that's where we need to manually review that change or manually review that confidence. Also change control. Before AI changes anything in your environment, there should be a human review. There should be a manual review. There should be someone who should either approve or reject it before AI changes anything. So that should not be any autonomous remediation in production environment. If you folks probably have seen Mrs. Davis in Peacock, you probably know how AI gets it wrong and what AI does, right? There was a recent report from Gartner where an startup, they were using an AI tool which was doing things for them, right? And even though they provided specific instruction about not to touch any production database related operations, still the AI tool deleted the entire production database, right? So in that case, whom to blame, whom to reach out to, right? In that case, so there is nothing that we can do. So that must be human intervention. There must be a human review that has to be there before AI takes any operation or before AI does anything. And the next step is continuous validation. It's not like okay, in my software development lifecycle, at the beginning, I will check for the input, I will check for the AI decisions and everything. It has to be there for each and every individual stage of your lifecycle. That validation has to be performed every single time, not just once. So these are the policy guardrails that we need to implement in order to use AI that takes care of our security operations in cloud. So let's talk about something that is underrated, that no one talks about, but still saves our life, and that is governance. We need to assess our risk, right? We need to classify AI tools. We need to ask questions. We need the explainable AI. We need to ask the AI vendors, AI tools vendor, on why that tool made that decision, why this AI model made that decision that affected this X, Y, and Z, right? So we need to ask those questions to those vendors. We need to map the potential failures mode, right? We need to define those acceptable error rates, that this is what our service level agreement approves, and this is what are the error budgets that we can run our products on. We need to establish the escalation paths, and we need to document our failures. We need to document the AI failures so that we can do the post-mortem task, and we can help the AI to learn from the past failures. We need the human intervention. It's not like again and again. We need the human review. One thing that if I may share, the highlight of the talk is not AI is not to replace, but AI is to assist, right? So this is where human review goes into the picture. We need the human, we need the some sort of review before anything changes, or before AI does anything in our environment. We need the audit trails. It's not like we just let AI to do things automatically, but we need those API calls to be tracked somewhere, so that if anything goes south, we can always go back and check and see what sort of decision that AI made, and why it made, and where it made, and who, like when it made, right? So those sort of things will help us tracking the issue if anything happens. Also, penetration testing and those sort of things has to be regularly performed, not just once a year kind of thing, because the pace that we are working, because the scale that we are operating, it has to be either quarterly or once a month, or depending on the budget, or depending on the frequency, it has to be regularly tested rather than once a year kind of thing. We need those quarterly accuracy reviews. We need those incidents response from AI failures, so that we can learn, and we can also help AI to make the decisions better next time. We need to train AI. We need to also train our humans on the AI limitations, and we need these vendor security assessments and compliance documents as part of this governance framework. So the future of cloud security, from like up to this point, we kind of understood that AI is not just a fling, or AI is just not like a year or maybe a few months of thing, right? It is here to stay, and the traditional tools, they don't cope up with what we are doing in production environment, right? We need something that exponentially learns things. It takes decisions. It automatically remediates things for us. So that's where AI comes into the picture. That's where we cannot rely on those traditional security tools, but that's where the future of cloud security is relying on AI, starting with trust through transparency, right? We cannot trust everything. We need to start implementing zero trust policies, whether doesn't matter which source, that doesn't matter from where those API calls are coming from, doesn't matter whether the human is making the API call or the AI. We need to track, and we need to start from the least privilege model, and not just black box outputs. We need to build the internal expertise to evaluate the AI recommendations critically, rather than just following them blindly and implementing them in our environments. We should never rely on security tools, just one. We should have multiple tools to do things for us, that takes care of those different things for us, and we need to maintain those manual review processes, and assume that AI will occasionally fail catastrophically. And also, just like AI, we also need the humans to learn along with AI from the failures, so that we can make decisions cleverly, and whatever makes sense, whatever is suitable for our environments and for our systems. So those feedback loops should be there. Those sharing lessons across the team should be there, and we also need to maintain the culture, because at the end of the day, AI and cloud is just a technology, but we need the culture in order to implement these technologies. So that's about it from this presentation. We need the AI. We need the AI to take care of our cloud security operations. We cannot just solely rely on AI. We need to set the boundaries, and also we need to set up the awareness, so that rather than AI hijacking the system, AI can follow the guidelines and can work accordingly. I have been researching on the intersection of AI and cloud security. I have published papers and wrote articles on this matter. So would love to talk about AI and security, would love to collaborate on this very topic. And any questions, anything, let's discuss how we can make our AI more trustworthy, and how we can leverage these AI technologies in our production environments and production systems. Uh, that concludes my presentation. Any questions? Yeah, sure. Sure. Uh-huh. Yeah, good question. I think I kind of covered a bit of it in my presentation. Like we need the we need the explainable AI, right? So that is the core thing that we rely on, and the thing that we look from the vendors is the compliance, the governance that they follow, right? Because at the end of the day, we are using tools to make our lives easier, but we also need to answer our customers, right? If anything happens, we cannot say them, oh, we were using this third party tool which kind of breach the data or compromise the data, right? We are accountable, we are responsible to our customers, right? So wherever we meet any new vendor, wherever or whenever we think about introducing a new tool which is using this AI remediation and tools, we look for those compliance things, like whether it is following the SOC 2 or ISO standards or GDPR standards and etc. And we also check their policy manuals and see what sort of things that we have control, and what sort of things that we can do using that tool, rather than letting that tool take all the decisions and letting it do all those things automatically. So what kind of power that we have on that tool is what matters for us. Yeah, sure.
I was asking, have you come across any AI models, or do you know of any that they're able to explain the decisions they make?
See, yeah, that's a tricky question to answer. AI tools will definitely give you some explanation, right? But the point is whether that explanation makes sense or not, whether that explanation actually applies on for your system or not. Just like the DockSec tool, right? It explained why it took that decision, but without getting the context, without getting whether that what policies, what internal sort of things that that company or the team is relying on, right? So these days AI tools explain why they took that decision, right? But we need it's whether we trust that explanation or not is another thing. That's where that actually question comes into the picture. That's where we, like as a human, as a developer, we go to that explanation and make sure that okay, because of this scenario, the AI tool did that work because of this explanation. So that's where we review that explanation. But yeah, all the tools are probably the tools that I came across, whether they are open source or the tools that we are using, they are definitely giving the explanation on why they did this and that. But yeah, it depends on whether that explanation actually makes sense or not. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you so much.